Welcome to Spiderwebs, a collection of spooky stories and haunting hearsays. Original tales written by me, the Z, for all of you. I've been collecting old records as of late. I just acquired a huge collection of records from my mother, and there are a ton of those good old spooky records in there that I grew up with. One of the main reasons I record these shows are because of those old records. So sit back whilst I return the favor and tell you one of the oldest stories that I've written. Oh, and watch out for the...
Welcome to the Spiderwebs Podcast.
Welcome to the Spiderwebs Podcast.
Welcome to the Spiderwebs Podcast.
So many warnings are given on a daily basis. It's good to truly listen when someone's trying to tell you something. Sometimes you have to find where the warning is between the lines. And sometimes it could be as plain as day. Like in tonight's story titled, The Orbs. He shouted to me, "Watch out for the grate!" Then he mumbled something about painting skyscrapers purple and how his tuna sandwich had mice lips in it. "Every time I get a tuna melt, they gotta throw mouse lips in there. There ain't no reason to have to put the mouth lips in every sandwich that I order. Now get back to work." His name was Wilkes. I don't know if he had a first name or if Wilkes was his last name. He just always had a cardboard sign around his neck that read, "Wilkes Worky for Milk and Turkey." Maybe his last name was Worky. At any rate, he seemed to be a nice man. He was a homeless man that I'd see from time to time on my way to work. He didn't bother people for money, just his sign seemed to bring in enough money for him to feed himself. I'd given him change from time to time. He was a little off his mind, though. He barked all kinds of silly things. "Be kind to dolphins because they like the trees." And my personal favorite comes on Friday afternoons. "How many fingers you got?" "I'm all thumbs. And one Tuscadero for the weekend." He'd kick off every weekend for me with that one. Well, today was Wednesday, and all he said was, "Watch out for grate number 3. I found out the hard way what he was trying to tell me. You know those heat exhaust grates in front of the really big office buildings? I love walking over to those things. My friends always warn me to be careful. One day those things are going to break and you're going to fall and break your leg. Well, I found grate number 3. And yes, I sprained my leg. I was so relieved it wasn't broken. In my 42 years on this earth, the most I broke was my tooth at age 7. And that's when I fell off a log pile. And I'm glad to say that I'm going to keep that record. Wilkes yelled down to me, "Do you want a condensed illuminated sunshine day?" "Wilkes, could you get me a policeman or an ambulance or something, please, Mr. Wilkes?" "Flying nightstick." A large black police flashlight came down within inches of my head. The back broke off and the D batteries rolled out into the long tunnel. "My naughty." "Thanks anyway, Mr. Wilkes. Can you please go get someone's attention?" Silence. He must have left thinking I'd make do with the flashlight. My leg was killing me, and I started to get a little bit anxious. It was getting late and very soon it was going to be dark. I had enough strength to try to find a ladder or a tunnel or something to get me out of this place. I wasn't sure how I would work the ladder, but I was doing a good job dragging myself along. There was a huge generator of some sort behind me and a tall metal door in front of me. There was a tunnel to my left and a gated set of stairs to my right. I limped over to the stairs to check that gate, but it was locked up good and tight. I made my way back to the middle door, but it was locked and bolted. So in my wandering, I did find the other battery to the flashlight, and I turned it on. Surprisingly, it worked great. The tunnel seemed to go on forever, and it had such a steep pitch to it heading downward that I really didn't want to have to climb back up. So I yelled down into the tunnel. Hello? 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 Help! 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 I yelled again. Hello? Hello? Alone, 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 alone. I thought I heard something strange the first time, but the second time was a little stranger. Sounded like my words changed. I thought maybe someone was down there mocking me. Someone who worked here who could probably help. Look, I fell down the third grade. Look, I fell down the third grade. Look, I fell down the third grade. I would really appreciate it if you could help me get out of here. Appreciate it if you could help me get out of here. Appreciate it if you could help get me. Really appreciate it if you could help get me. Really appreciate it if you could help get me. I was now sure that someone was down there. I grabbed the flashlight and shined it down into the tunnel, and it was pitch black. It smelled so musty as I limped down into the darkness. I could see the spiders and the crickets jumping from the side to side and out of my way as I passed through. They kept landing on me, but I slapped them off as they landed. The further I went, I would look back up from where I started. It seemed to get so far away. And as the evening was diminishing the light behind me, it was getting colder as I traveled down. And I was getting unsure about the choice I made heading down into this tunnel. So I called out again. Hello? Silence. I looked back up to the top again and called that way. Hello? Still ever so silent. The flashlight was starting to dim as I limped a little further. I smacked the flashlight against my hand to see if maybe it would charge it up a little bit or make it brighter. I looked ahead to see what looked like 4 shiny glass orbs floating in midair. I got a little bit closer and I could see what appeared to be a bush or a shrub holding those glass orbs. And then I heard a loud tapping right in front of me. The orbs were coming closer. And what I saw next, I will never forget. My dim light showed on 8 furry, long legs. Those glass orbs were eyes. This thing had huge pincher claws in the front of its head, and they were wide open, showing me 2 long, shiny, white fangs. I was too scared to move. The fangs separated, and it spoke to me in my own voice. Hello, 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 hello. I remember being upside down, wrapped in what felt like warm, sticky wool. Felt weird. I was so sleepy. Felt like I had been drinking. I could see someone was hanging there with me. I managed to turn. I think you broke my sunstick. We should paint it purple. Hello, 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 hello. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's story, and I hope that truly the next time you decide to squish a spider in the kitchen, you might think whose son that is or whose daughter that is. I also hope I made you a little nervous about walking over those grates that you find in front of the huge office buildings. And if I didn't do any of that, at least I hope I made you a little uncomfortable. So until next time, Have a good night. Have a good night. Have a good night. Have a good night.
All of Zerbinator's music and podcasts are under the Creative Commons license, which allows retelling and rebroadcasting as long as the author is notified and credited. For more great escape pods, please visit www.zerbinator.wordpress.com. If you would like to contact Zerbinatorland, you can send an email to instrumentally@gmail.com or give us a call at 571-408-ZERB or 9372.